Welcome to the Word of Truth. This is Teacher D.H. Spoon. Today's message is called Life is Short. We never know when the last time we might see someone. We don't know when the last time we may have a conversation with someone that we really love and someone that we are close to. So it doesn't really matter on how you enter the relationship, it matters how you leave. So when the last time you have talked to a person and you heard of their demise, then you will be confident and at peace that you left on a good note. That's why God wants us to forgive people. We need to forgive people and not hold grudges, because we never know when the last time we may see them. Our life could change in a second, in a minute. It's a lot of times, like you look on the news, you hear about somebody got shot or somebody got stabbed or a home invasion or a bad car accident. You know, when they left home to do whatever they was doing, they never thought that they wouldn't come back home. They never thought that that would be the last conversation that they had with whoever they had it with. And then for the people who their loved ones that they leave behind, they didn't know that that was the last time that they will have a conversation with them or see them alive. So now is the time for us to be thankful for our life and to forgive others and to choose our battles wisely. We are not supposed to choose battles with our loved ones. We are supposed to be exemplify the fruits of the spirit, which is love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, kindness, gentleness, faith, and self-control. We have to learn how to control ourselves. We have to learn how to be gentle and love and be joyous and be good, and have peace. We have to learn how to live the life like Jesus did. And see, if you always leave on a good note with someone, then you won't feel guilty. You won't feel bad. You will know that, hey, the last time I saw this person alive, we were laughing, we was in a good place. We had peace amongst one another, and we both loved each other, and we both was in a place where we was joyous and happy for our relationship. And see, that's why we need to be very careful on how we treat people. Yes, it's people that we can't be in a relationship with, but those are the same people that you know in your heart that you have forgave. So if something happened to them and you couldn't be in a relationship with them, you will know within your heart that, hey, I forgave that person in my heart. The last time I saw him, we was in a good place. Even though we couldn't be in a personal relationship because both of our paths are going in opposite directions. And see, and it's not about judging people just because people is not doing the same thing that you're doing. It's just that when some people, they really take their relationships serious with the Lord, and some people actually want to excel spiritually, and some people are not ready. So it's not that anyone think that they're better than anyone. It's just that, hey, we take different paths, and different paths calls for different things. And like God said, a companion of a fool will be destroyed, and bad associations is not wise. So of course we have to be wise in our personal decisions, in our personal space, in the relationships that we have. But, the first thing people feel like, oh, she thinks she too good, or he thinks she too good, or, what, they acting funny. But see, sometimes we can't worry about what people think long as we know that we love them and we have a resolve in ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Because people are going to talk. But you have to make sure on your end, even if somebody want to fuss and fight and it's some people that they're unhappy. So some people, they just combative. They just like to argue. They just like negativity. They don't like to find nothing good in you or nobody else. And those same people, they can't find nothing good within themselves. So that's why they radiate that stuff out. But see, whatever the case may be, make sure that you walk in peace with all men. You know what I'm saying? All men and women. No matter whether they like you or not. Some people say some stuff that you're not gonna like, but you got to move it on. If it ain't you, and that's not how you feel about yourself, then you just have to move on. Sometimes it's not worth going back and forth with certain things, because like I say, that's why God say, don't go to bed angry. Make sure you have a resolve before you go to bed. So you know what? Because see, when you wake up in the morning, if you don't have that resolve and you don't put that stuff to the side, and then the enemy will try to make a mountain out of a little molehill. It'll be a little molehill, and then you will keep feeding it, and then the enemy keep putting stuff in your mind. Cause see, soon as you give him an opening, oh, he gonna come in like a flood. He gonna keep adding stuff, and then he gonna try to tell you to get back at this person and do this and do this. But you can't be his flunky. You have to make sure if you walk in peace with all men, then you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about turning a mountain into a molehill. You will know that, hey, God loves you, and you know what? And Jesus loved you, and he died. So, hey, you're going to spread out the same love that was given to you, and you say, I'm going to walk in peace, See, it comes a times when you mature, you can't worry about what people think or what people say, and you have to just make sure that you live in a life pleasing the Lord. When you live in a life pleasing the Lord, then it doesn't matter what people say, but you just make sure you walk in peace and you stay at peace. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't see somebody in a while, you will have peace in yourself. And if somebody was to pass away from this plane, then you will have peace within yourself. Well, we couldn't have a really close relationship, but I know in my heart that I forgave him. I know in my heart, and that's why sometimes when people want to argue, somebody might call you, or you might see somebody, they might say something derogatory. If you're going to say something, you know, that's going to get you out of your peace, then sometimes it's best not to say nothing. Just leave it like that, because some things don't deserve a dignified response. You know what I'm saying? Some things don't deserve a response. But for the most part, just realize that life is short. You don't know when the last time that you might see someone. So you have to treat it like, hey, you know what? I don't know. But just in case, I'm going to love everybody with the love that Christ loved me with, because I'm going to exemplify the same character that he showed to me. I'm going to have to show to others. So now it's the time for you to realize that life is short. And now love your kids, love you know your co-workers, your parents, just love everybody that you have a relationship with. Some people are separated from their kids, some people are separated from their parents for God's reasons, but that don't mean that you can't love them in your heart. You know what I'm saying? And so you have to have a peace within yourself, because every person is responsible for their own peace and their own happiness. You can't say that, okay, well, you made me unhappy, or you made me this. No, that is something that's within. You have to keep your peace, and you have to keep your space, and you have to make sure that your circle and your space is good, that you have peace, and you make sure that you have your joy, you make sure you love, and you just make sure you keep your faith, because everybody is responsible for their own faith. When you believe and you have faith that you're doing the right thing, then that will give you peace. You know what I'm saying? If you know you're doing the right thing, if God tell you to stay away from certain people, places, and things, then you got to stay away from them. But that don't mean that you don't love that person. Some people, the enemy come by and make them feel guilty and make them feel like, oh, I am wrong. It's because I'm not having a personal relationship with you. You don't have to have a personal relationship with someone to love them. You know what I'm saying? Long as you know within yourself. But the thing is, you have to have faith and know that you're doing what God tell you to do. If God told you to stay away from someone, then you have to have that peace within your heart. Like, this is what God told me, so I'm gonna have peace. And so I don't care what people say or what they don't say. All I know is this is what God expects me to do, and this is what I'm going to do. So ask yourself right now, is it someone that you had a dispute with, someone that might be that someone that you're in a relationship with? Make sure you resolve it, even if you think you're right. Just make sure you resolve it, and make sure you have that peace, because see, you never know. Just ask yourself, But for the people that you know that you can't have a personal relationship, still go to God and just pray for them and just say, Lord, I know I can't have a personal relationship with them, but you know what, Father, just let them know that I love them. You know what I'm saying? And see, the thing is about having peace within yourself, but the thing is about pleasing God. But we know that life is short, and we need to do the things that make us happy, but we also need to do the things that's according to God's will and His ways. See, our will is supposed to line up with His, not His will lining up with ours. Because when we in relationships with people that God told us not to be in a relationship with, then that's when bad things happen. If you notice, if you was in a relationship with someone that God told you to leave alone, and then you see bad things keep happening and this and that and the other, then you just have to have, the strength to walk away and say, hey, you know what, this is what God wants. I have to please Him. I got to get my life together. See, every man for himself and to get into the kingdom of heaven. You can't get into the kingdom of heaven based on what somebody else did or what somebody else didn't do. You go to the kingdom of heaven based on your own actions. So now is the time for you to get yourself together. Say, life is short. I don't know when the next time I'm gonna see a person, but I'm gonna love the people who's in my circle and people who are in my life. I'm gonna love those who I can't have a relationship with, and I'm gonna be at peace with them. But the thing about it is you have to have peace with yourself and realize that tomorrow is not promised. So now is the time for you to do the things that you've been sitting to the side, and make sure you do things to make you happy, and make sure that you know, if you can't just sow into other people's life, but you have to sow into your life. You have to make sure if it's the last breath that you take, that you are happy and you fulfilled with some of the things that you know that you want to do and God wanted you to do. You know what I'm saying? So always remember, life is short. You never know when your number is going to be called, and you never know when someone else's number is going to be called. So make sure that you find that peace within yourself. Not only should you just love other people, but you need to love yourself. And make sure that you put water into your own well. Make sure you invest into yourself too. Yes, we are supposed to put others before ourselves, but you need to love yourself, because how can you effectively love other people if you don't have love for yourself? How can you be effectively at peace with others if you're not at peace with yourself? You have to ask yourself, if your number was called today, is your relationship right with the Lord? Are you at peace with yourself? Are you at peace with others? Have you resolved any dispute within yourself? Because some people that can't be with, you may not never see them again, but long as you love them within yourself, but you know that you're pleasing the Lord, and that's the thing. So now it's the time for you to live life to the fullest. Don't be afraid to take risks. Don't be afraid to step out on faith. Don't be afraid to love yourself. Don't be afraid to love others. Don't be afraid to to um to um to step away from people, from toxic relationships that you know that you're not supposed to be in. But the number one thing is, you could still love people. That don't mean you don't have to be in a personal relationship with them. I hope that you enjoyed this message, and remember, tomorrow is not promised and today is short. So make sure you love yourself. You love God with all your heart, might, soul, mind, and strength. Make sure that you seek the kingdom of heaven first and His righteousness, and all the things God know you need will be added unto you. Make sure you get your spiritual self together, so if your number was called today, you will be ready. You will be peaceful, and you will have a calm that's inside you. Okay? And make sure that you know that you left here and you have peace in your heart towards all men. Okay? Until next time, may the peace of God be with you. Peace.